In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, all praise is due to Allah the Almighty, the Lord of the worlds. May Allah's peace, mercy, and blessings be upon His final and last messenger, Muhammad. And may Allah's peace, mercy, and blessings be with each and every one of you, dear viewers, watching this new episode of your program, The Revelation, here on LTV International. The authentic teachings of the Prophet ﷺ, the consensus of the Muslim scholars, all of them establish clearly the fact that it is totally not permissible, it is totally haram, it is totally prohibited and unlawful to target by any means the safety or to violate by any form the safety of the places of worship and the safety of the worshippers. This has been the direction and the instruction of the Prophet ﷺ, as well as his noble companions, as well as all the righteous followers and the reliable Muslim scholars across the centuries. And this is why, in this spirit, this is as well the stance of Al-Azhar, this over 1,000 years old institution, when it comes to maintaining the safety and the integrity of the physical integrity of both the places of worship as well as the worshippers.
لا ينهاكم الله عن الذين لم يقاتلوكم في الدين ولم يخرجوكم من دياركم أن تبروهم وتقسطوا إليهم إن الله يحب المقسطين.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Allah does not forbid you from those who do not fight you because of religion, and do not expel you from your homes from being righteous toward them and acting justly toward them. Indeed, Allah loves those who act justly.
Another very important point that I'd like to stress and to bring to the forefront here is the agreement and the consensus even that seems to be dominant among all Muslim jurists, and that yes, if there is a need to build a church, then there is nothing that would prevent this, as long as this will be decided and determined by the competent authorities and the head of the state. And of course, this is meant to maintain the stability and the order in the community, especially in light of the notion of citizenship, in light of all the new developments that we have when it comes to the constitution, when it comes to the competent laws that regulate this, when it comes to the competent laws and regulations that regulate this. So here, what I'd like to stress here is this is something that needs to be understood, that there is no contradiction between what the Muslim scholars came up with and our contemporary state of legal system. Because what happens sometimes by some extremists is that they take things out of context, and especially things that were written in a state of war with non-Muslims, and then they take them out of context, or they shamefully decontextualize them, and they say, you see, some Muslim scholars say this and this about building churches. while actually they are only doing this because they are not qualified and they are not honest in the references that they make to these writings of these scholars. And this is why we need to be careful, and this is why the Board of Senior Scholars at Al-Azhar and the Fatwa offices at Al-Azhar are doing their best to clarify this and to promote the right understanding of the noble stance of the Islamic jurisprudence and the noble Islamic Sharia when it comes to ensuring in practice and not only in words the freedom of belief, the freedom of belief and the freedom of worship of all the citizens of a given community. With that being said, my dear viewers, let me highlight a very important issue. And that's an issue I know that's sensitive. And that's the tendency among some individuals to think that when they show disrespect to the places of worship of others, this is as if that this is a translation of their strong faith and belief in what they believe in. And as a matter of fact, the reality and the fact of the matter happens to be the total opposite. And speaking of Islam here in particular, a true Muslim would definitely show respect to the beliefs of others and the places of worship of others, because a true Muslim should be always aspiring to follow into the footsteps of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, and his noble companions. It is to be clearly stated that only superficial understanding and only weak belief that leads an individual to act as an extremist or act as a fanatic against the places of worship of other human beings. And this is definitely very important, and this is why I'd like to clearly state that showing any form of disrespect to the places of worship of others is only a sign of shallow understanding of Islam and is only a reflection of a weak faith and never a strong one. And this is why in this regard I'd like to read what Sheikh Muhammad Abu Zahra, may Allah have mercy on him, has clearly written in this regard. He says, and I will read both in Arabic and then I will translate it into English. He says, إنه ثبت نفسيا إن التعصب لدين من الأديان ليس منشأه قوة الإيمان به. That it is psychologically and scientifically established that having this form or any form of fanaticism towards any faith is not, as a matter of fact, to be stemming from a strong belief or strong faith in it. Rather, and he goes on to say, إنما منشأه ضعف في النفوس. Rather, the foundation or the basis of this is a weakness in this person. وانحياز فكري, and an intellectual bias. وعدم النظر إلى الأمر من كل نواحيه, and lacking the ability to have a comprehensive understanding. ولا شك أنه إذا دنت القلوب بعد اغترابها, and undoubtedly that when the hearts find the truth after longing for it, ولانت بعد عصبياتها, and experienced the tender of faith after finding it and after going through any form of fanaticism, تركت الانحياز إلى الائتلاف. Rather, it would definitely abandon any form of biasness to coming together. والابتعاد إلى الاقتراب, and moving away from any form of being away to what brings people closer. وعندئذ يدخل نور الإيمان, and only at this point will the heart experience the light of faith. This is very clear, my dear viewers, in how is it expressing any form of disrespect or targeting one's or targeting any other place of worship is, as a matter of fact, a reflection of lack of understanding, shallow understanding, and a weak faith.
لا ينهاكم الله عن الذين لم يقاتلوكم في الدين ولم يخرجوكم من دياركم أن تبروهم وتقسطوا إليهم إن الله يحب المقسطين.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Allah does not forbid you from those who do not fight you because of religion, and do not expel you from your homes from being righteous toward them and acting justly toward them. Indeed, Allah loves those who act justly.
Thus, my dear viewers, it is very clear that Islam completely urges Muslims to show respect to all places of worship and to respect and to promote all what Islam came up with when it comes to ensuring the right of belief and the right of the freedom of worship of all human beings. With this, we come to the end of this episode. My dear viewers, I leave you in the care of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wishing you all the best. And of course, until then, you are most welcome to send us your comments, questions, feedback, and of course, you are most welcome to watch this episode and the previous ones on the official Facebook page of the program and the rest of the social media. Definitely, the topic is very rich, and this is why please stay tuned for more on this very decisive and significant issue. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.